baby, water accidents all over the place, pipes bursting, people overflowing the sink, overflowing the tub. Let me tell you, first of all, that's you. That's you and your feelings. Whenever you're overflowing the sink, whenever water pipes burst and you have leaks, those are your feelings coming out. Those are feelings that you've held in. Water is the physical manifestation of emotion, okay? I tell people, look at the Rock the Boat video with Aaliyah. Before she passed, homegirl was underwater, all that water. And I don't romanticize stuff like that. I believe she was meant to go when she left. But that video, all that water, was a testament to her leaving. Nirvana, the lead singer, unalived himself. But I think their last album cover has a baby swimming underwater, okay? A friend of mine yesterday, she calls me because in my video, I said Mercury retrograde in Sag, the pipes burst, okay? Mercury retrograding back into Scorpio has you fixing the pipe, okay? And I gave that analogy in one of my videos talking about Mercury retrograding back into Scorpio, okay? So I said Mercury retrograde in Sag, Mercury moving into Sag, baby, you saw that pipe bubbling up. When Mercury went retrograde in Sag, it burst. Then Mercury went back into Scorpio. Now you're repairing that and rebonding that. So in real life, Mercury retrograde in Sag taught you your partner was cheating. Okay. Now Mercury retrograde back in Scorpio, you getting that divorce. Mercury retrograde in Sagittarius taught you the truth about your mother and how much she's gone through. Mercury retrograding back into Scorpio, you're now going to strengthen and empower that relationship. Okay. But I gave that analogy. So my friend calls me and she's like, Antoine, you talked about pipes bursting. She said, you said it figuratively, but it literally happened in my house. She said, a few days ago, my pipes burst and there's water all down my walls. And as soon as I looked in my closet and saw my walls messed up, I found out the leak had went to my closet. She said, I broke down crying. I said, because you needed to. I said, girl, and we don't know each other too well, but we're becoming friends. And we said, we're going to hang out after Thanksgiving because that's my girl. She's real cool. But I said, you've been, and I just knew she just had a 4-month-old daughter. Her daughter's a Cancer. I said, first of all, that beautiful little girl brought some of your feelings into this world. The next layer of that is that leap. It got you to emote. But all that is, and she told me how her husband handled it. I said, he's kind of emotionally constipated too. But she started to explain her situation. She's not working right now and her husband is handling everything. And she has Scorpio placements. Scorpio doesn't always like that. Scorpio wants power. Scorpio wants to make its own money. Scorpio wants to contribute. Scorpio wants to love you too. So she wants power, she wants money, she wants a job, but she don't have one right now. She feels stuck. And I said, all that motherhood, dealing with that, I said, you haven't had a chance to emote or let your feelings out. And I said, that leak forced it anytime. Even with Hurricane Katrina, maybe I already said this. I record my videos so many different times. I don't remember what I say, but Hurricane Katrina and water tragedy. I don't negatively romanticize that stuff. It needs to happen. When you and I research what goes on in these places that get wiped out by water disaster, and I'm like, oh, Katrina, where that hit, there was a whole bunch of generational trauma, stagnance, incest. Like, it had to go. Water washes out. Water tragedy is not just water tragedy, okay? There's a purpose. As tragic as it is, there's a purpose to all of it. And to me, this is tarot is Scorpio. You have to decipher it. Aquarius, astrology is Aquarius. It's a science that you delineate. Delineating is Aquarius. Deciphering is Scorpio. But energy is Pisces. I was doing a reading for my girl Naya. And we had gotten to some realization during the reading. And when we got to that realization and she made her aha moment, which I love when that happens. It happens in 99% of my readings. If the reading is regarding a certain life situation, some people just want to learn. But in those readings, when that revelation happens, I love it. It comes full circle, and it always happens. But she made a revelation, and she said something to herself. And then while she was on the phone with me, while she was making that revelation, she was at 7-Eleven buying a Slurpee, and she dropped the Slurpee. And she said, oh shit. I said, what happened? She said, I dropped my slushie. I said, good. Your hand was connected to that cup when you made that realization. That fluid, I don't care if it's water or not, that fluid inherited that pain and you had to drop it, okay? I've had somebody drop water. They spilled water. I said, wait, before you clean it up, look at it. What does it look like? She said, it looks like my grandmother. That entire day, she kept seeing remnants of her grandmother. That was the first one. The water spilling and it looking like her grandmother. And she broke down crying then. She's like, Antoine, you're crazy. How the fuck? I said, baby, this is the Pisces and me, honey. People, People, you could tell me anything, and if I know your chart, I'll connect it there. You use astrology as a guide to decipher energy, but being energetically astute and being adept with energy, baby, I'm getting there. You could tell me any damn thing. Tell me the car you're driving. Tell me the sound that it's making. You just spilled some water. You just drank some water. You haven't drank water. You're dehydrated. You're running from your feelings. You see what I'm saying? You just had a fire. Oh, what were you mad about? What were you angry about? What type of sexual trauma do you have? My friend's house who burned down in Australia, we kind of joke because as soon as before her house burned down, her legs were red and swollen. As soon as her house burned down, then legs went down. But guess what? Me and my friend, and she's an Aquarius. I'm an Aquarius. So, and she's a Pisces Mercury. We can talk. We don't talk, we talk. Okay, with no boundaries, and I fucking love it. I love Pisces Mercury people, Mercury 12th house people. They get every damn thing. But I said, you know, friend, your house burned down. All the anger, there was so much anger and conflict associated with that house. And she's like, I'm kind of relieved. Of course, dealing with it and dealing with the insurance company, that's one thing. But as she thought about it, she was relieved. She didn't really grieve the house. She doesn't want it anymore. She doesn't want to rebuild on that land. It had to go. Things have to go. But if pipes are bursting and you're having a lot of water accidents right now, rethink your emotions and rethink what you're keeping in and what you're not letting out. And I think just as humans, we do that. The Virgo in us, the Virgo Aquarius, the 11th house, 6th house in us just don't want that. I'm like that too. But survey that.